Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Weird Sacred Podcast, a place where we remember that the weird, the quiet, and the unseen parts of life often carry the most wisdom. Here we talk about self love, awareness, nature, and the small rituals that help us come back to ourselves a little bit more easily. My name is Francesca. I am the mindful maker and coach behind Soaps, Candles, and Dots. And I'm so grateful that you're here. Today, I want to talk about something that feels very connected to this moment of the year. And we're talking about the early spring. Not the Instagram version where everything is already blooming and beautiful, but the quiet stage before that. Early spring often feels like the moment where we can sense something is changing, but we are not fully seeing it yet. The air feels different, the light shifts a little, we can feel movement in the world around us, but the full expression of the season hasn't arrived. Sometimes I think of it almost like the moment before birth. Not the birth itself, but the stage where everything in the body is preparing for that moment. There's movement, there's pressure, there's transformation happening. So much, and we don't see it because it hasn't fully emerged just yet. Nature moves in a very similar rhythm. Right now, seeds are beginning to wake up. Roots are forming and the soil is softening. Life is already moving underground, even if we cannot see it on the surface just yet. And honestly, our inner life often moves through very similar cycles. Around this time of year, many people begin thinking about change again. Maybe because the new year started a couple of months ago. Maybe because we made promises to ourselves in January. Things like, I'm going to eat better. I'm going to exercise more. I'm going to change this habit. We have heard that, right? But then real life begins to happen. Work, family responsibilities, tired days, unexpected situations. And slowly those promises begin to fade. And when that happens, many people begin believing something about themselves. They start thinking, maybe I just don't have the discipline. Maybe I don't have the willpower. Maybe I can't trust myself to follow through. Sometimes we avoid the topic completely, but very often the real issue is not discipline. The real issue is how we approach change. We've been taught that change must happen dramatically, all or nothing. For example, someone decides they want to stop eating sugar. So they throw everything away in the pantry, buy a completely different set of foods, and try to change everything overnight. But if your body is used to something consistently, removing it suddenly can feel like withdrawal. Your body reacts and your mind reacts. And when you sleep, even if it's just one, guilt appears. Suddenly you're caught in a cycle of I want change, I try to change, oh my god, I fail. And after repeating that enough times, we begin believing something painful. We start believing that we cannot rely on ourselves. But very often the situation is so much simpler. We were pushing too hard, too fast. Self-trust is readily built through dramatic change. More often it develops through small promises we consistently keep to ourselves. Instead of saying, I will never eat sugar again, maybe the promise becomes, I will use 1 spoon of sugar instead of 2. That small adjustment gives your body space to adapt. Your mind adapts. Your habit slowly shifts. And the same idea applies to almost every area of life. Maybe you don't eat fruits or vegetable on daily basis. Instead of buying 10 different fruits at once and hoping everything changes overnight, maybe you start just with one. One fruit that you actually enjoy. You get used to it. Then you add another. Little by little. Sustainable change often grows through gentle adjustment, not dramatic revolution. This is often how self-trust begins rebuilding. Each time we keep a small promise to ourselves, something important happens internally. Our nervous system registers that experience. And slowly, we begin forming the belief that our intentions and our actions match. Real self-trust is often much quieter than we expected. It grows through small moments where we show up for ourselves again and again. Nature shows us the same pattern every year. Right now, a tremendous amount of activity is happening underground. Seeds are waking up. Roots are growing. The soil is shifting. But if we look at the garden every day expecting flowers immediately, we might think nothing is happening. Nature doesn't seem to rush this stage. Growth often begins invisibly before it becomes visible. Human growth tends to follow the same rhythm. I see the same principle at my blending table. Nothing here happens instantly either. Herbs take time to infuse, oils combine slowly. Each batch is created through small steps, repeated carefully. The process itself teaches patience, which is something I never thought I had. But it's something I've been developing internally over the past 11 years. Rebuilding self trust with ourselves often follows that same rhythm, not forcing change quickly, but showing up in small ways that slowly transforms the relationship we have with ourselves. So this week, you might simply ask yourself a gentle question. What is one promise you could keep for yourself? Not a dramatic change, just something small. Maybe commit to movement every day, even if that movement is only 5 minutes. Maybe take a quiet breath before reacting during a stressful moment. Maybe lighting a candle before journaling. Maybe deciding not to engage in conversations that drains your energy. The action itself might be small, but the message you send to yourself can be really powerful. Self-trust often rebuilds in ways that are almost invisible first, just like early spring. The most important changes are often happening beneath the surface before we see the results. Sometimes, the most important thing we can do for ourselves is simply begin again, gently, with one small promise we keep to choose. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. And if this reflection resonated with you, the companion blog for this episode continues the conversation. You can check it out in the description. Until next time, take care of yourselves, stay curious, and remember that even the quiet changes matter. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Mwah!